When asked the question, what has CWM been up to? Well, that is a tale to tell you, because we have definitely not been just sat on our asses doing nothing. We haven't just been watching the ending of Game of Thrones or eating cookies, because no, we've been busy. Now, what have we been busy doing? Well, it all started last October when we played West Street Live, a stable venue, a venue we could trust, or so we thought. See, after we finished playing, and once we finished crying horrifically backstage over how terrible we were, and how everyone thinks we're massive losers, we were approached by a gentleman. He told us that while we sucked at playing music in the UK, we could have a bright future if we signed with him and toured Colombia. Naturally, we took this opportunity by the muzzle and signed each and everything he threw at us. Obviously, the store wouldn't be open forever, so we left for Colombia that night. On the long, arduous journey, the man said his name was Boris, and one day he intended to have a Brexit for dinner. But that night he had chips. When we landed, he went off in search of a trade deal and said we should begin working our way up the music scene. Confused at where to start and annoyed that all the money we'd been given couldn't be converted from simoleons to Colombian pesos, we found some friendly farmers. They put us to good work so that hopefully we could afford to rent a van and eat, as we were getting quite hungry. The farm was very secluded, as we were told that other farmers liked to steal their crops if they found them. The bastards. The plants they grew there were very unusual also. Cockney. I never had any, but I was told it was a healthy vegetable. After a few days of sleeping on the farmer's floor and working the fields, the farmer's bosses came. Tom, who had been very enthusiastic about the farming, said he had some suggestions on how to improve the farm work. After discussing at length with them in private, they claimed Tom had a bright future ahead of him, and he was going with them. I wondered if they knew Boris. It was just 3 of us now, and would take longer for us to be able to afford a van, or plenty of food and accommodation for a tour. After 4 months with the money from the farm, we were able to rent a van and be on our way though. The venues we booked seemed a bit too nice for us, but we played them anyway. Everyone hated us immediately. They told us to leave and that our shit music wasn't welcome there, throwing emeralds at us until we left. In our 5th gig, there was only one person there. It was Boris, of course. He said we were doing great and we were going to be huge in Colombia, but he said he had to leave to take charge of a great baton. With our belief reasserted, we continued to tour, playing 50 shows across Colombia with a brief stop for a couple of months to earn some more money on another cockney farm. Every show was a disaster. After the 50th gig, the bartender turned the TV on to reveal Tom had made it big in Colombia though. He was on the national news. Unfortunately, it turned out it was due to him being assassinated, after he used the power he had gained from leading one of the largest cartels in the country to try to stage a coup against the government. Since we were already one band member down and were so far not making much of an impact, we decided to leave Colombia and use our remaining money to get back home. Once we made it back, the 3 of us took a little bit of a break to gather our energy before we began gigging in the UK again. We started recording the remainder of our album, and I decided to make this video explaining what has happened.